Thanks for showing up, showing out. Um, I'm really excited because I've wanted to do the Rust bindings for Godot for a long time. But the problem with Godot is I don't have ideas. And there's a lot of things where I'm already good at it, and it's easy to jump in without already having an idea. But in Godot, I've hit this wall previously of not having ideas, so not having the drive. So now I have this idea that I've been working on, the Goibs, and I have the drive, so I'm back at it again today. And yeah, so last time I streamed, I got the hexagonal grid going. I can show everybody that. Let me get this working in OBS for a moment. Okay, so this is the Goibs game. Wow, you don't get to see the close button and stuff, but it is there. I don't know what's weird about OBS capturing Godot windows, but in the main window nor in the game window is it capturing the. In fact, it's capturing down here. It's capturing it as a sharp corner down here when it's actually rounded. So it's really sticking its fingers in to the process somewhere to capture this Godot window. Yeah, so I can click this. This is not the big achievement though. This is this is the big achievement. Well, two things. Getting the hex grid to draw a rectangle just inside the border, wherever the border lands. That was a victory. Major victory. Getting the zoom to go so that it zooms on whatever point I'm looking at. You can see like down in the down in over here that I've set specific zoom levels that you can go to, but back here yeah, if you hit home, it resets back to zoom 100% in the center of the view. All of this stuff is stuff I'm really proud of. If you do the middle mouse button, you can middle mouse and drag, and all of this stuff is stuff that I'm incredibly proud of. But that's the last that I'm like. There's more to be done in Godot now, but I don't want to keep going in Godot unless I make sure that the stuff that I need to do can be also done in Rust. The stuff that I need to do in Rust can be done in Rust and connected. It's looking promising, but I still have to go ahead and do it. So so let's do. Let's just do this. Oh, and I don't. Where did the little go? Oh. We'll get rid of the little goibs. Okay. Oh man, I didn't. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to sort something out. Okay. Okay. Gosh. Let's see if these disappear. Can you even see them? Oh, for you it's hidden behind my face, but that's fine. That'll be okay. Okay, this means we can, do I need this? Okay. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. So I've just typed all this. I'll show you that what it is here. The workflow is you in your main project folder where you have your Git located. You have a Godot folder, you have a Rust folder. Here's the Godot folder. This is my project. Here's the Rust folder. I've got lib.rs using Godot. My cargo has Godot as a dependency. I'm compiling to a dynamic C library. All of this straight out of the book that I'm reading. The code that I'm putting in the player module, also straight out of the book so far. But they said you didn't have to put it in a player module separately. You could put it in lib.rs and be fine. So, you know, whatever. Either way. Okay. All of this seems like normal, you know, normal stuff that you'd expect. Okay. I don't think I need a fixed frame rate. I don't know why they're using physics process. Okay, so I think we already have impl iSprite for player. We're overriding init. Now we just need to override physics process. Godot print is good to know. What did it say that the Godot API thing does? The following impl block is part 2 exposed to Godot. Godot. This attribute is required here. Forgetting it causes a compiler. GD script uses property syntax. Rust requires explicit method calls because the mutable base object is not in scope right now. In GD script, this mutable base object would be the scope that we're in. It kind of would be the implied self, but okay. Probably the reason why you have to call for base or base mute is they probably have logic in these functions that manages the unsafe part of this, which is that these are getting edited elsewhere. Okay. This is a point where you can see the result. Great. I have yet to see a result. Compile your code and launch the Godot editor. Right-click on your Sprite 2D. Change type. Player node type will be a child of Sprite 2D. That's so exciting. Tell you what I'm gonna do though. I'm not gonna do it quite the way they're saying. I'm gonna go to my Goib. Oh, it's an animated Goib. What just happened? Okay. I guess I gotta compile first. Where am I? Oh, I'm in. Oh, I didn't. Wait. Fields in this chart: speed, angular speed. Are never read. They're read right here. They literally are. Oh, I haven't saved it. I think speed is never used. Okay, before it was speed and angular speed. Right now... Well, that's true. Right now, that's true. Yeah, I could not care less. Okay. Because we're not just gonna test this by having this done, but we're gonna have goobers all over. Rust is spinning those. Those are being spun by Rust. This rotation brought to you by the Godot-Rust bindings. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's our goober for you. Let's zoom in. Hi, goober. We should go to the goober and say texture filter nearest. Run it again. That's more like it. Okay. Okay. I should grab a sweater. Oh, I have a blanket. I'm gonna do my work in a blanket. Okay, so we've got some spinning goobers brought to us by Rust. Next. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and finish this tutorial too in a second, but this is where this is going. Okay, here, I'll show you what's going through my head. Two things are going through my head. One is, and this is one of the things I'm thinking about. When you compile, or even when you're, I think, coding in a burn library, or using burn as a dependency, you've got to define right up front what your compilation environment is. Okay, let's do this thing that's right here. We already have this going. Great. Okay, let's go to the burn book. I think I'm gonna have to do proximal policy optimization for this project. I'm thinking that because what I really need right now for this book is just tell me how to build the models. I'm not really worried about the training. But this thing reminded me that I have to think about the training and customize my training loops. Yes. This is what I was getting at, which is yeah, I want my Goibs to, I don't know if I want them to learn as individuals or learn as a species. If I have them learn as individuals, then they've got to do neuroevolution of augmenting topologies. If I want them to learn as a species, I've got to have them do PPO, and the disadvantage of that is that it's all this simulation, everything the simulation does with okay. I think I have to do neuroevolution of augmenting topologies. Because I do want them to be individual brains. Maybe that's not what I do. Because here's what I want. I want speciation. I want speciation. Come here. Oh, it didn't work. I thought I had. Oh. Come here. Yeah. Come here. Speciation. Yeah, so I want speciation. I want Goibs going around the map and discovering that different parts of the map, different kind of very vague areas blending into each other, are hospitable and inhospitable in different ways, and I want them kind of adapting to that environment and being so far separated from each other they kind of develop differently in different areas. And I think so here I could maybe do proximal policy optimization. And I like the idea of doing that because with regards to using a library like this is really going to benefit from the ability to train one network on a bunch of data points at once. Like I'll have the code to build the network once, and be training many individuals of the same species at the same time, and they'll learn better that way too. And here's how I'll get speciation. At Well, so the obvious part of it for me is that if I'm going to do proximal policy optimization and I want speciation, I'll have to do the speciation myself, but I don't want to stick my hand in and pick who should diverge as a species based on I don't want, if I'm gonna have to hand pick where the species diverge, I don't want to pick it based on anything. I still want it to be random, so that if the species end up being clustered by location, that's their prerogative, not mine. Um, so here's what I think I'll do. Every time a goib dies, maybe I'll immediately spawn one in its place with the same brain. And its brain is connected to the others of the same species for bulk training. And but when a goib dies, there's also a chance, let's say 10%. Maybe it should be smaller than 10%. There will be a chance that it uses the same brain, but it copies it, and it's now its own species, it trying to proliferate. Or maybe across a species there will be a way to tell if one goib in that species is performing worse than the rest of them. And that would suggest that its life experience is somehow different from what all the other brains are training to prioritize. And so we could maybe automatically detect which goibs are performing worse. And if it's performing outside a standard deviation of like the rest of the species, we give it a new brain. We let it split off. This thing where goibs respawn is a really interesting thing that I think I'll have to explore more. Let's draw it up. Okay. What do I want to write down? Boy, this is bad. Okay, this is a goib. And over time, it's spawning new goibs. Now at some point, it dies. And this was it spawns one new Goib. Now it spawned two new Goibs. But now it's dead. But now it spawns one, two, and all this time it's learning. And so if it runs out of resources, it does. Okay, now these guys. Okay. Say this guy spawns 3 new ones, this guy spawns 2 new ones. Oh, we've definitely got to make a way for them to die permanently. This might be a good... I'm not sure about this whole setup. Okay, here's the idea. We're gonna ignore the just drastically growing population part of this because they can't really die. Just for a moment so that we can get one point across. So far in this drawing, these all have the same brain. That brain is learning and constantly updating all of them. Let's say every 20 seconds, maybe even 5 seconds. So they're all constantly learning together. They're gonna hopefully quickly learn to walk toward food. I don't know. I don't know when the last time I showed this was, but this is how they see. They get to see, like, they get to see on these lines in every direction, and then they kind of see what's in this triangle. And each of these will be like following the spirit of how a convolutional neural network works. We're splitting it out by areas so that it can have some sort of spatial understanding of what's going on. So I'm going to do that. So each of these, there will be one neural network that processes a line, and then one neural network that processes a triangle. And so each of the lines will be fed through that line one, each of the triangles will be fed through the triangle one, and then what we'll do is we'll take all the adjacent ones and send them into one network that processes adjacent ones, and we'll give it a 1 or a 0 based on which symmetry it is. So like clockwise or counterclockwise. So this triangle will be fed into a neural network with this line that processes larger triangles. But so will this triangle be fed into one that passes this line? The same one. So we've somehow got to tell it that in here, this triangle is counterclockwise of the line versus this one, which is clockwise of the line. So there'll just be a 1 or a 0 that tells it that. And I don't know if that'll work. Maybe I got to do something else entirely. But that feels like not the worst approach. And then I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The deeper your network is, the longer it takes to learn. I don't want to get too deep. Oh. Yeah. I want it to be rotationally symmetric, however it processes it. So we break it down by triangles and lines, then we break it down by bigger triangles. We end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We end up with 12 big triangles. 1, 2, 3, which is the same amount of smaller triangles we had. So we're not even limiting it down at that point. But the smaller triangles crunch it from lot. So there's 3 sizes of triangle. Are there? Yes, there's 3 sizes of triangle. We combine the smallest with a line. We combine pairs of small and line with each other. I'll work this out later. I don't need to decide this right now. No need to decide that now. Okay. Back to this bad boy. Do I want to do proximal plot? I'm too excited about making the network myself to not do proximal policy optimization. All this stuff about planning the network myself does not work if I do neat. And I could do breeding and maybe like do neat and breed the weights and just ignore the augmenting topology part and just keep. No, neat has 2 interesting things. One is the augmenting topologies and the other is the speciation, and I don't want to do my brain that way. I want to structure the brain myself. And and I want the breeding to be controlled by the simulation if there's any breeding. I don't want them to just be breeding based on who I pick, which is how neat does speciation. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm forced to use proximal policy optimization. I think I am. I think this is pointing very strongly towards PPO. So then if I have a bunch of guys running around the world, come on. I suddenly understand why I was drawing worse. Okay, I have 2 monitors now, and I didn't realize that it's like half of my pad now is dedicated to the lower monitor, and I don't want that. But I'll figure that out later. No, I won't. I'll figure it out now. Nobody's watching my stream anyway. Or I just won't draw. I'll just go back to like the good old figure out rest Godot. That's what I wanted to do right now anyway. It's midnight. I'll do this for like another half hour, 40 minutes. We'll come back to you. Let's finish this bit. Great. I'm on 4.3, so that's great. We're hot reloading. Okay. I've already looked this through. That's kind of why I'm just going through so fast. I've like seen this page before, but okay. I've never heard of scoop. This is interesting. Oh, I've got to say the project.godot file. This is really fun. That's how simple it is. That's running the editor. It's fine. That's how that works. Let's go here. See, why is it not recognizing Goibs? To run the game within the project directory. Maybe that's if it's built. Let's try it. No, it's here. Yeah, it does not have a clue. Yeah, why doesn't it? Why can't I seem to open? Let's try naming a scene. They said that was another way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, my command's just not working. Wait. I might have to do scoop because I did it with an alias. Um, uh, let's edit my. Okay, I don't need that anymore. Okay. Now I do. Okay, I got scoop. Okay, Scoop wanted me to do. Oh, you have to install it using Scoop. I don't mind doing that. I just have to close this first. Let's, I don't know what this bucket thing is, so let's just try this first. Okay. Okay, so I gotta do Godot mono. Yeah, that didn't work, guys. Okay, we've got scoop here. Um, I know you used to have the C# thing enabled, but you might not anymore. We're about to find out, because if this guy spins, Rust is connected. I do not need .NET, baby. Let's hear it for not being dependent on Microsoft. I say on my Windows machine. Okay. Ah, great. Great. Okay, well, let's test that bad boy over here then. Um, Why does Godot not... Oh, oh. Yes! And the voice bin. Oh, and it said hello world! I think I just don't need the Godot editor for a little bit. I could just do this. At some point I want to script it so that it does cargo build and see it does. I want that to do that in the right directory, and then I want it to do. Do I have CMake? This is interesting. Oh, is this the time of day? Oh, how strange. Oh! This is Monday to Friday weekend. Monday to Friday weekend. Something wacky around Christmas. Monday to Friday weekend, Monday to Friday. This is really funny. Oh, and right now it's already the 13th, but their stats are so low because nobody's woken up yet. This is very cool. Let's see how this thing works before we go installing anything. Okay, so I need to make a build script. No, So this adds build script functionality, but is not itself a build script. We put a build.rs here. And it's got a main. And it just runs the main. There's nothing to say if it's... I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put in one little make command. We're not doing that. I thought scene make and make were the same thing. Yeah. I thought CMake was just the official name of make, but great, it's the GNU one. I'll do that. Okay. Okay. This is good. Huh, we were already here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's all I want. Okay. Great. I'm under the, I think, I think it was specifically either tabs or spaces. I forget. That's a tab. Okay. We're gonna do cargo build, and then we're gonna do Godot. I want to specify that path. Great. That. That wasn't it, folks. Oh, it should be dash D. Hmm. Okay, well let's I guess if you specify a project, you get that. So let's do I wish I could name the project and have it just pull the main scene for the project, but let's see, why is it doing that? Okay. Okay. I don't even know if I need that. Maybe I do this. Maybe I'll do that for one thing. It solves my other problem. Okay, this is good. This is good. We're back. We're back on track. I wouldn't mind being able to run make. That'll do it. It's good enough for me. I'll worry about running it from. I think. I'll worry about that some other time. Okay, this is the burn book. I don't need this right now. Oh, okay. We're in the godot-rust book, but we're on the wrong page. We did that. Okay, we're back, baby. And I'm gonna grab a glass of water. I'm gonna code until 1 a.m. and quit. Oh, translation, not as in translating. I was like, no, none of this code relates to translation for a game, like having other languages run the game, but it's talking about translating the sprite. Okay, we're done with that. Great. Let's just paste this down here and figure out what the difference is. Radians is self. Okay, this is the same. That's the same. Great. Rotation equals self dot base dot get rotation. Okay. Delta is a fraction of a second. You multiply that times pi. So once per delta, it once per second it rotates pi degrees, which or pi radians, which is halfway around a circle. One Mississippi, two Mississippi, three Mississippi, four Mississippi. Yeah. Okay. Get the rotation. Vector 2, okay, vector 2 has to be coming from prelude. Vector 2 dot up, rotated rotation, times self dot speed. And this might as well be in parentheses, right? Because we're velocity. There must be a Rust extension I'm missing. No, that's not one. Is it loading? Okay. Okay, this seems to think Rust Analyzer is this shit, so. What's your deal? Hey. That's good enough for me. This is what I wanted, was these suggestions. I wanted to make sure I was right that this whole thing was being processed as a vector too. Translate velocity times delta as an F32, which overall offset is going to be a vector too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's 1 a.m. We're gonna keep going. I ain't done yet. Oh, I suppose we should test it. I love automating stuff. Oh, I gotta click. Little guy. Let's do it again. Look at those Goibs. They're gonna be so good at doing whatever it is that they're doing. They're pretty okay. Look at them. Oh my gosh, it's a Rust operating it. I've got like this surface level stress that is resulted by like operating in a scripting language. And that's still there, but it's accompanied by a much deeper relaxation based on the power parts of my code are going to come from Rust. This is good. This is good. I pretty much have what I need out of this tutorial already, but I'm going to keep going. That is not what it looks like. Mine looks so much better. Okay. Say you want to add some functionality to your player class, which can be called from GDScript. Okay, maybe I should keep going with it. For this you have a separate implementation block, again annotated with Godot API. Is that the same one we used before? Impl with Godot API. Okay. We're using an inherent impl. Okay, we're just implementing it on behalf of the player. Right. Is that how it knows player extends iSprite2D? I guess it's also because of this. It's got to be this. Oh, it's that. That's where it really comes from. Class base is sprite2D. Base is base sprite2D. And impl is iSprite2D. I wonder if I ever end up memorizing how each of these things works, or if I just like copy it all the time. You know, like what the, you know. Okay. Okay. This is iSprite2D, which has an init and a physics process. It's got all these things that I can override. In fact, I bet. I've got init, I've got toString, I've got on notification, I've got get property. There's a lot to work with here. There's a lot to work with here. I bet it's documented better somewhere else though. Okay, this is impl iSprite 2D for player is where I override things that I want to override. Now, I just do impl player or an inherent implementation block. Tagged with Godot API. We still need the Godot API to know about to do it. Underscore. Hash Godot underscore API. Concretely, we add a function to increase the speed. And a signal to notify other objects. But I don't want it to work for... Let's see. Okay, I'm confused here. Why I would emit a signal for everybody to increase speed instead of increasing my own speed. So does it make hello world every time we... I think we can go ahead and call that a day on that guy. That's enough of that. I feel like this should be... I guess I don't really know. It's working without it. Golly. Maybe the fact that I'm tagging this with Godot API and I'm deriving a Godot class. Okay. Opens it up to the API even though it's not public. So okay. I can do this. I can do this. Or maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just call it a night. Maybe it's time for bed. I can do this. What am I even trying to do? I'm trying to understand... Okay, I'm trying to understand the parameters that these get passed. Okay, for init, we get passed a base because when you initialize the object, just for initialization, we need it as the base object. We save that in here. We set the other things in self the way we want to, but this is just one of the parameters we need. And if we didn't include this, we wouldn't maybe include it in the init. I don't know. Maybe we would include it in the init just because it's strongly typed, and then we'd just not use it. here we don't get a base object. We get a self object because only the initialization needs it as the base, and after that we operate on self. Now we still have base mutable. Wow, we get base mute all the time. Do we use that all the time? I wonder if we can save self.basemute in a variable, operate on it, and then let go of it when we're done. This method allows you to call back into the same object from Godot. I don't know what 2GD is. Holding a mutable guard. Well, yeah, that's just how mutable things work. But any reference to self? Oh. Base mute self. Oh. Oh. Okay, here's my understanding now. For any given base, it gives ownership to this self object. The Godot API doesn't even own the base anymore. It has given it to us. So if we run self.basemute, it gives us the mutable base. We operate on it. We're now operating mutably on self. Lifetime something. Anyway, the lifetime of this self would be used for ownership of the base, I think. And basically don't keep it forever. I think keeping it through to the end of this function would be fine, because they're only worried, it says, about locking up self. And we're already locking up self by having a mutable reference to it here. So it's locked up throughout this function anyway. Now why? Okay, whatever. Do self.basemute and self.base every time you reference it, I guess. Now here, we're gonna do a pound funk, because we like to get funky. And it's a function called spin, called increase speed. And it's gonna be by a factor. Oh, it has self as a parameter. It's still gotta be called on a particular player. It's not even a static thing and you're emitting a signal. I'm gonna do a whole other function because I think this function is dumb. How does scope work in Rust? Can I just say, I don't even remember. Is it let? Yeah. Sure, I32. Is that how that works? Yeah, somehow I can't just... I can't declare a global. It's gotta have some sort of scope. It's unsafe. In Rust, sharing mutable references or mutating immutable references is undefined behavior. Okay, this is good. Static. This is, I knew this is what I was getting at. All Rust is very much about the direction that you come from is the direction that there's ownership of a variable. So if you come at something, here and you instantiate a variable and then you pull out, and then you come over here and you instantiate another variable, you don't have access to the same counter. If you come over here, you count the counter up to 1. You come over here, you instantiate another variable, and now the you want to make the counter be 2, but you had a mutable reference to it over here. Unless you actually passed it all the way down to over here, you simply do not. Okay. You're asking for global mutable variables, to which Rust takes the principled approach of blowing raspberries at you and hitting you with a wet sock. A local approach like a builder object, like entity cache with a new entity method. A local approach like a builder object with entity cache with a new entity would fit Rust. Your problems appear to be somewhat more fundamental than what you describe. You're kind of throwing code at the wall to see what sticks, and that's simply not going to get you anywhere. Read the Rust book and finish it. I haven't finished the Rust book. I've read a bit of it. You don't understand something in it. Ask about it. As it stands, you're demonstrating that you don't understand variable scoping, return types, how instance construction works, how statics work, and how I don't understand how statics work. Today is the first I've heard of them. How parameters are passed. It's a really shaky base to try and build any understanding on. Okay, I think I have a little bit better than what this other person has. In this particular case, you're asking for something that's deliberately not straightforward. You want a counter and a vector of instances. The counter is simple enough, but a vector of instances? Rust doesn't allow easy sharing like other languages, so how do you go about doing that? How you go about doing that depends heavily on what it is you're actually intending to use this for, i.e., we can't give you suggestions on how to do what you're doing, because you cannot do what you're doing. But there is a way to do the effect that you're looking for, and you just need to tell us what that effect is. Alright, what follows is a very rough guess at something that's maybe vaguely similar to what you want. Right. We need the lazy static crate. So add that. I'm getting called out here. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm out of water again. It's really time to go to bed anyway. Yeah, it's time to go to bed. Yeah, I should probably know what some of these things are before I bother reading this answer. I'm gonna love reading the Rust book. More so now that I have a Rust project. Okay. That's the burn book. I'll circle back. Okay, fine. I'll do their approach with the dumb. It's a dumb code. It's a dumb thing that they're trying to do. It's dumb. Stupid. I feel like can I get that signal with a self object, please? Ready? Okay, we'll do it their way first. I feel like they're not gonna all speed up when I do this. Ah, yeah, well, that's my bad. Oh, we never called it though. That doesn't help. Boy, you're cute. Did I do -d in the makefile for debug? I don't need that. Okay, well that's anyway. Okay, let's do I'm so good at this. Goibs Rust PDB. G. Okay, got. Are that's the same number of characters. Goibs underscore is kept. .pdb is kept. RUST 999 tilde. Frickin' dumbass. Okay. Stop showing me that. What did I want? What did I want? I wanted to call it from here. Okay, we're gonna do a key press. Input event key. Let's just see how they did it. Okay, Godot exposes the API to the Godot engine, but there are two new attributes. Func expresses a function to Godot. The parameters and return types are matched to their corresponding GDScript types. A signal can be emitted with the emit signal method, which every Godot class provides since it's inherited from object. API attributes. Yeah, okay, whatever. That literally, I want this, but let's get there. Do I have a whole nother chapter in me? I've wanted to do godot-rust for so long. Literally, this is so good. I'm fueled. And thirsty. I'm still thirsty. I think my brain's shutting down. I think it's time. I think it is time. So thank you for tuning in. Um, I've had a good time. I'm really excited to be doing this. I'm excited to be sharing this project with you. Um, so tomorrow's Thursday, so tomorrow night I'm going to be playing. I should check in with Smexy, but wow, somebody just joined the stream, like just as I'm finishing. Yeah, anyway, Smexy and I are streaming at 7 p.m. Thursday night, playing Minecraft, and then I'll be back. Doing anything I can sometime after. So, all right. That's enough of that. Thanks for tuning in.